Hi friends, I'm Scott Giles, minister and hypnotist, and welcome to Power Talk, my podcast where I cover topics that interest me, focusing on how you can use the power of your mind to take control of your life. If you want to know more about my professional work, and I hope you do, or if you want to sign up for my free e-newsletter, Power Lines, check out my website, which I'll tag in the description. Well, today I want to talk about the immense power you can bring into your life by using intention. Intention is defined as an awareness of something that you want to bring about. Some people call this manifesting, although I'm not in love with that word because it sounds too much like magic. Very little comes about without effort, and I want people to understand that if they want to bring something about, they're likely going to have to put some energy into that. That said, the power of intention is largely internal and mental. That's part of why hypnotism is the superior tool to establish and push for the realization of an intention. Because hypnotism, including auto-hypnotism or self-hypnotism if you prefer, is the best way to marshal your inner resources. It's the best way your inner mind can bring your deeper power to bear. Now, these days, I hear a lot of clients begin their work by saying that they don't understand why they're not as successful as they want to be. So I ask them, what is it they really want? 9 times out of 10, when I ask that question, I do not get a clear and specific answer. Instead, I get something general like, I want to be happy, or I want to be rich, or the one I dislike the most, I want to win the lottery. Well, all of that is nice, but it's not sufficient. I mean, no one wants to be unhappy. No one wants to be poor. The interesting answers to the question of what do you want are specific. I want to be a neurosurgeon. I want to own a dancing school. I want to be the vice president of marketing. Things like that show forethought, planning, a sense of reality. That's what we mean by intention. Knowing realistically and with some specificity what you want to have happen. And if you can't do that, then you can't mobilize the power of your mind to take control of your life. As an example, and as a superior role model for this, let us consider the account given of my favorite philosopher, Marcus Aurelius, once the emperor of ancient Rome. It was said that if you asked him what he was thinking, he would give you a complete and specific response every time. He never said, I don't know. He could always clearly and honestly answer that question. What are you thinking about? He could answer that because he was always thinking and thinking clearly. He knew what he wanted out of his life. Now, we know that Marcus Aurelius was a journal keeper because his personal journals have survived. And so we know what was going on in his inner life. He was reflective. He was thoughtful. He considered options and did all of these things in the pages that he wrote every day. So when it came to his lived experience, the reflection was done. He knew what he intended. And he became the most powerful person in the world because of it. Sadly, most people today do not even come close to that. The writer Napoleon Hill, in his final and most controversial book, Outwitting the Devil, so controversial it was not published during his lifetime, he wrote about what he called drifting. Drifting is when you don't have much of a plan yourself, and so you just kind of react to what happens. You let your life be shaped by the agenda set by other people. You just go along. That's not living with intention. These days, having clear intentionality for our lives is difficult. No two ways about that. There is so much that fights for our attention. News, social media, various pastimes, the spin put out by networks, corporations, politics, and so on and so on and so on. And it can be hard to cut through all of that and know what we actually think amid the smoke and mirrors put up by institutions. But we can cut through that smoke and mirrors. It's said that we tend to get what we focus on. And I think that's true. That's actually the core of what some people call the law of attraction. Now, whether one thinks that is a psychological, philosophical, or even metaphysical principle doesn't matter to me. You will tend to get what you focus on, provided you are focused on something. If you're not, you will drift, and other people will set the agenda of your life, and you will live for their benefit instead of your own. Now, in my life, I very much inspired by the example of Marcus Aurelius, keep a journal. Every morning I open the pages for that day, what's called a spread, and I include a section for what I want to accomplish that is of serious importance to me that day. Now, I don't mean my task list. I certainly have one every day, but this is different. This is the specific victory I want to achieve with that day. It may be a project or a task. It may be something I'm avoiding, like placing a difficult phone call. Usually it is something I know I should do, but I have some resistance about. I set the intention to get that done, to manifest that specific thing amid my other tasks, chores, and responsibilities. At the end of the day, I give myself a grade for how well I did with that. But if you asked me at any point in the day what my specific intention for that day was, I can give you an answer. I can say, here is the big thing I've set myself to manifest today. I don't drift. Hey, thank you for your time and attention today. I'll be back next week with another talk on a different subject. I'd like to invite you to join me. It helps me a lot if you let others know about my videos, so please like, share, and subscribe. If you're wondering if I can be of help to you, feel free to reach out through my website for a free, no-obligation screening call, and we'll talk about it. Have a great week.